We used to live in a condo and it had an elevator, and we had Archie, and we also had Rupert, the next dog that we adopted, who was like a little terrier mix. And we had to go through this elevator, and every time I noticed that Rupert would be very reactive because he didn't know what was going to pop out when the elevator doors opened. And there were a lot of dogs in our complex, and for him, he just was reactive on leash. And Eric explained the magic box analogy to me, which I can let him share.
Yeah, an elevator is like a big magic box that a dog goes into, and they just don't know what's going to appear on the other end, and nor do we. It could be another dog on the other end that becomes reactive as well. And so now you have two dogs on leash that are reactive towards each other, and you have to cross paths. So either that person has to guide their dog away from the elevator and let you out, or you have to go through that. And that can be really traumatizing for a dog, and they can actually break trust on leash. So they start to become more reactive on leash because they don't think that you're going to guide them away from certain circumstances that would cause that reactive behavior.
Yeah, so I started to develop a lot of anxiety going to the elevator. I would actually take the stairs just to avoid, but I didn't quite understand what was going on until they explained to me, because I never had anxiety going into an elevator. You'll meet new people, it's great. But for Rupert, it was a completely different situation. He's like, I don't know what dog's going to come out, pop out. And it was very scary for him. So just things like that, when you can keep that in mind, you can help avoid certain situations where, I would take the stairs rather than take the elevator, and not put Rupert in that circumstance that would create any sort of trauma or additional fears. And if you can keep that in mind and be mindful of that with everything that you do with your dog, I think you can see a lot of change in behavior and really develop a better trust and bond with them.
Yeah, they kind of go, when you don't force them through those circumstances, and it starts to, again, build that trust.
I think that's so interesting. I never thought of it as put myself in this animal's shoes. What are they seeing? What are they sensing? How is that going to make them feel? Because you're just like, it's an elevator. Come on, let's go. And they literally have no context for what an elevator is.
We're all about convenience. For them, it's all about comfort.
Well, we don't understand what a dog goes through a lot of times. So, cars, for instance, dogs aren't engineers. They don't build things like we do. And there's no manual that they read. They're like, okay, this is what this is. And so when they see cars, they don't really know quite what it is, or skateboards. So these are all kind of very weird things that have been introduced over the past century. And, dogs have been with us for thousands and thousands of years. So when they were bred to work for humans, none of this existed.